All those details. On to the big court action of the day now. The Apex Court has spelled out its verdict in the liquor ban case. No relief for bars and restaurants that are situated along the side highways. Our legal correspondent Ashmit Kumar, who's been tracking that story, joins in with all the details. So Ashmit, this is actually a very complex issue. Take us through the order. And clearly, I mean, India is in for some safe roads, as some might say.
Well, that clearly is the intention behind it. Whether it fructifies, we'll have to wait and watch. But as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, very uncompromising, unrelenting with its order, reinforcing the ban on the sale of liquor within a 500-meter radius of national or state highways. And now what's critical to understand is that in December of last year, the Apex Court had passed an order whereby it had disallowed the sale of liquor, which raised the obvious question whether the order applies only to liquor vends or also to bars and restaurants. Now, subsequently, we saw a series of applications being filed before the Apex Court seeking clarification. In fact, the Attorney General himself had given an opinion where he had clarified that in his assessment the order applied only to liquor vends and not to bars and restaurants. And we saw similar arguments being raised, the Attorney General himself seeking a relaxation of that order, but the Apex Court coming out very clearly that as far as bars and restaurants are concerned, given that the intent behind the order was to ensure that drunken driving is brought down to a bare minimum, the Apex Court reinforcing that ban once again, observing as a part of the order that the order extends beyond just the liquor vends, also to bars and restaurants. They too will be impacted. That is, of course, the way forward as far as both national and state highways are concerned. Also important to mention just two caveats, two exemptions that the Apex Court has provided. Number one is that in municipal zones that have a population of lower than 20,000, for those areas, the radius has been reduced from 500 to 220 meters. That's one important exemption. The other is that with respect to the license conditions, depending on how and when the license was issued by the local excise department, that relief has been extended beyond April 1st. But again, and of course, another one to mention would be the relief granted, exemption granted to the states of Sikkim and Meghalaya. But above and beyond that, the Apex Court not budging much, insisting that the ban shall extend to bars and restaurants as well. Back to you.
All right, Ashmit. Thank